They took your favorite game and made a movie so bad you had to spew. What's a nerd to do? Well, listen to 8-Bit Movie Review with Josh and Andrew. It's 8-Bit Movie Review.
Welcome back, gamers! This is Andrew Gonzalez,
And I'm Josh Edgington.
and we are back, baby, after a long 2-month hiatus. And for newcomers who are like, what the fuck is this? This is 8-Bit Movie Review, the podcast where we discuss movies, series, and everything in between about video games.
And at the top of this episode, Andrew, I'm going to do a little celebratory shot of this nip here.
And what is that nip?
This is a fireball. Your favorite. Mine not favorite, but
Which
excited,
they should be sponsoring me at this point. Like,
just because you indulge too much in a thing doesn't mean you should be sponsored by it.
I disagree.
You're like, part of your shareholders make money because of me, sir.
Yeah. You hear
All
that
right.
fireball?
So down the hatch, buddy.
Down the
Welcome
hatch.
back.
Welcome back.
Oof.
Ooh. I drink a lot of this, but still, whoo.
Why did we record at 10:30 a.m.? No, it's not. It's 4 something.
So for our regular listeners, we haven't been recording for a while. So what's been going on is I got into a really bad car accident. My wrist completely shattered. It's not from jerking off. I know what that's a lot of people have been asking.
It hasn't
lately.
healed quick enough because of that.
The doctor keeps saying stop, and I'm at the office just being like, I can't. I can't.
You ever seen that movie Idle Hands?
Yeah.
That's the movie based on Andrew's life.
Yep. Except it's not trying to kill people. It's just constantly just jerking me off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's been a process. My hand's doing a little bit better, so setting up wasn't that much difficult. Editing may be a little sloppy, so we'll see how that goes. But we're back, baby. We're back at recording.
Do you see your cat Hank rubbing his asshole on the rug?
Yeah,
That's
he's
pretty
been
sweet.
doing that. He's excited about us returning.
Yeah, he's so excited his asshole's itchy. I mean, mine is too, honestly. It has been like 2 months.
Well, new listeners,
Did you not know what to say to that?
We don't usually, we do usually talk about jerking off and rubbing assholes, but this podcast is usually about discussing series and movie adaptations of video games. We also, to break it up a little bit, because if you are a fan of most video game adaptations, you know they're usually not that great. So for our sanity, we also discuss what we love about video games, music, our favorite video game discussions, and sometimes we do the news if we're running out of ideas.
Yeah, we also do analysis of games. If we both decide to review a game, we'll take a couple weeks, put some time into it, and then kind of break it down, give our honest thought on it.
And since we're back, we're going to be doing a lot of newer things. We're going to change the formula a little bit. We got a lot of great things coming for everybody. I think the show's already enjoyable in my opinion. I just think it's going to get a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think a big thing people can look forward to, the regulars that listen is, maybe we might even leverage your opinion on the things that we review.
100%.
I mean, so maybe look out for some community polls on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever the fuck we can do that shit.
And that's the thing too. We want people's, jeez, Andrew already fucking it up. We want more of your reactions. We want people to be more involved in what we're discussing. And, we've had great input on our music episodes.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has put a lot of good suggestions. And we'll discuss it later, but we definitely have a fun one coming up for, the Halloween specials. I guess not specials, but, the Halloween
month of episodes.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to get in contact with
8-Bit Spooky Review.
With our host, Gamekeeper. I got to get in contact with him and see if he's still interested. I remember last year he was kind of a little bit of a diva, but we got to get him in.
And you wanted to record that in case you left this in and he heard?
What? Well, Gamekeeper, come on. You ain't no Beyonce. And last year you were a little bit of...
You're more of a Kelly Rollins.
Yeah,
you ain't no Beyonce. All right, you're one of Destiny's Child, but you're not the child.
You're not the, and you
child,
know,
you ain't that child.
We tried to hire you assistant, the mausoleum creeper or something. I forgot what his name was. You caused a fit, you know, but we'll see how that goes, Josh. You know, I know you and him don't get along very well.
I just think it's the worst impression you've ever done.
What do you mean impression? I don't know what you're talking about. This is
I don't either, but it's still horrible to me. I would rather pay $300 cameos to get the guy that did the voice of Crypt Keeper to do like every episode.
Well, I tried, but you know,
he's too busy.
Well, he's got a restraining order against me. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But so you know, our Halloween run, we're of course going to be discussing some spooky things, and should I wait till the end of the episode, or just there's just the one thing I want to bring up, the music one.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess like
who gives a
so
shit?
Look forward to it. You know, we're recording these in advance, so we'll be posting. You know, make sure you check our Facebook and stuff. We're going to be discussing our favorite spooky music themes. That's a future episode. It's not this one, but like spooky music, like in video games. And I have such great ones that I can't wait. And I can't wait to see what you, the listeners, like offer for us. So
yeah, every time we put out polls about music, like we get just a crazy amount of good content from people. And it's because video game music is like, maybe you don't like a certain type of game, but you can still love the music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love the music from Ocarina of Time. I've never beat that game. I never plan to beat it. I just don't like the gameplay.
I'm waiting for a remaster, and I'll finally, like...
I even tried it on 3DS when the controls were slightly fixed, the camera slightly fixed. I still just could not. I got farther. I got to Adult Link, and then I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Is it because you're not maybe, like, a huge dungeon? No, you like dungeons.
I played Binding of Isaac for 700 hours.
Is Zelda just not your thing? I know.
I like Zelda.
Yeah.
I think it's more the classic top-down Zelda format. I think
you like
the
more,
3D format didn't really do it for me.
It
but
definitely
hey,
was a little...
That's just my theory. A game theory.
But yeah, that's pretty much what our show is. This week, we are discussing Sick Day games. Did we still want to go with that name? I'm going to edit this out. Or
8 Sick movie review, yeah.
Oh, I like that better. Maybe.
So stupid.
8 Sick movie review. I'm going to stick with Sick Day games.
Yeah.
We're going to be discussing games that we usually play, like that are go-tos when we're sick, and also games that, you know, we may have never played and then remember at one point being sick, picking up, and then just not letting go. And I thought it'd be fun to discuss what were those games that made you, I think I'm feeling sick today. I think I'm not going to go to work so I can play this game.
That's what I was going to say. I maybe not, if I'm really sick, like I'm probably not playing many video games, but I know that I have definitely used sick time when it's like, fuck, I got this new game. Like I really want to stay home and play this. Or like skipped school to do that several times.
That goes back to, you know, so not just calling out of work, you know, staying home sick and playing those games.
Sick day memory review.
Sick day memory review. There we go. But before we get into that discussion, I want to get into our new segment, which I like to call the Gaming Zone.
Andrew, put your shirt back on.
Woo! The Gaming Zone is where we discuss what games we are now playing or have played over the last couple months.
I honestly thought it was going to be like just an 8-bit cover of Danger Zone, but it said Gaming Zone. That's how you explain it to me, and I understand now what you mean, but I was waiting for lyrics. Highway to the Gaming Zone.
Yeah, that came up with the name because I found that on the audio free stock on Adobe. I was like, this is totally a ripoff of Top Gun.
Which I'm like, sounds of them like taking off over that. Yeah.
So, Josh, you know, we've been talking these last couple of months, and especially me being sick and not being able to use my hand, which a lot of people are probably saying, like, well, how did you play video games? We'll get into that in a bit. We played quite a few video games over these last couple of months, and I thought we should go over it. So, Josh, what have you been playing for your gaming zone these last couple months?
For my gaming zone, I don't think that's the right use of that word. I've played. I mean, I put a lot of time into Elden Ring after you forced me to play it. Finally done. Don't have to play it again. Thank God. I'm not one of those people that's like, I beat it. Now it's time to play it even more because I'm done. I don't need to really play any more FromSoft games. I was fine. I finished it. I did a lot, but that's just not my thing. Playing a game where it's like, all right, you died. All right, try it 15 to 20 more times. All right, do it. Do it right. Do it right or fuck you.
Yep.
That's not really for me.
See, I loved it, and I was about to play. I was in the middle before the accident playing like a different class, but I had a feeling you weren't going to do that. Like, I felt like that was just something that you weren't interested in doing.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy my time playing it. I think when the DLC comes out, maybe I'll jump back in and play a different class. But by that point, I'm sure new games will be out that I want to play. Other than that, I did recently replay Resident Evil Code Veronica X, which I have determined that it's not Sherry from RE2, it's not Ashley from RE4 that's the most irritating character of all time in the series, is like your side character. It's the character Steve in Code Veronica X, who the developers modeled him up after Leonardo DiCaprio. But he's got a super whiny voice. And he is so cliche and over the top. It's so... Okay, here at one point, you leave the island where you start on. And the villain is like, we took over the jet that you're on, and you're being sailed to our Antarctic base. I know that sounds crazy. So you and Claire are basically you're asleep on the ground, waiting for the plane to land.
So Claire is in it. It's got like a
Claire's
lot of
in it. Claire and Chris are in it. And it's just a scene where Claire's sleeping, Steve's next to her, and then he wakes up and he looks over and then slowly leans in as if he's going to kiss a passed out Claire. And I'm like, why is this creepy shit in this fucking game? He's so weird.
Well, that's just how Leo rolls. So Leo's not like that. So I
mean, there is also the antagonist is kind of an incestuous like brother and sister.
That's
super weird.
creepy. But do they make it?
They aren't though. They aren't. But
do they make it like usually they do shit like that to be like this guy's evil, or is it they're just like nah, Steve's just a creep?
Oh, he's a weird creep. That's all it is. He's a weird creep, and it's the best part of the game is when he's like, I'll take care of this. And then if you go back to where Claire is, she like taunts you. She's like, oh, do you need a big, strong girl to help you, little boy? And I'm like, yes, for all of that sass, Claire. And Claire looks exactly like Liv Tyler for some reason in that game.
Arwen.
I have a crystal that makes me immortal. And I'll give it up for you.
Have you been playing anything else besides that?
A little bit of Binding of Isaac. Actually, me and Joe D have been every week, every 2 weeks doing like an hour or two of 2-player Binding of Isaac.
Which, by the way, Jody, if you're listening, that episode got a lot of listens while we've been on our break.
I mean, you had 2.5 experts of Binding of Isaac on there.
But we've had a lot of listens on that. So thank you again, Jody, for coming to that.
Yeah, I think he still would like to come on when we do one of the re-reviews. You know what I mean? That'd be
Which
cool.
I forgot to mention at the top of the episode for other people that, are familiar with our format and listen to previous episodes. We will be doing the old ones when we had shitty recording and had no clue really what this was. So look out for those episodes.
Yeah, and they won't be 2.5 hours long of us being like, all right, and then the next scene is they took a bus.
And then they became double dragons.
And then they were the double dragons. And then you could see the stunt guys come in because they're wearing the same clothes, but their body type is different. And then the one guy, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Because we were just like, okay, and the next scene is this, and then the next scene they do this. And what did that make you feel like, Andrew?
Yeah, that's the format of my other podcast, which will actually also be returning within the next couple of months.
Oh, wow, nice.
So look out for Let's See That Again, the podcast where we watch nostalgic movies and see if they hold up today. Plugging that.
If we do a crossover, we should call it "Let's See That 8-Bit Movie Review Again."
Oh my god, I won't even be able to fit that like on those little squares for the episode marker.
Just do it all in acronyms.
I was thinking the other day, I'm like, man, I just keep picking podcast names with really long names. Like, it's. But anyway, what I've been playing now, at first it was a little tough for me. It sucks. You lose the usage of your dominant hand, and you can't really play video games.
Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to mention, I also just recently did a replay of God of War. Just normal mode.
Yep.
I was like, I'll fight all the Valkyries, and then I got to Niflheim, and I'm like, I'm not doing this part. I'm not going to spend 5 hours trying to get the armor and get through this place just to fight the Valkyrie, to fight the Speed.
It is a lot. Which
I gave it up. I was like, I've done it. It's fun. The game's still so good. The combat's so smooth. And I don't know if you've seen any of the snippets of gameplay footage that came out for Ragnarok, but it looks very good. I haven't.
I think I'm trying to avoid it because come on, it's gonna be a fucking awesome game. I'll get into it in a little bit because one of my games is God of War for the gaming zone. So not being able to play with my right hand, use my right hand to play video games has been really, really tough for me. And when you're healing, there was not much I can do. I became so bored. Being in pain and being on medication and trying to sit still and just watch TV wasn't really working for me, even though I did watch a lot of TV. You get bored. A good friend of mine, a friend of the pod, Rich Clancy, got me, I believe what it's called is a one-handed DualSense attachment for the PS5 controller, and I was able to connect that onto there and play. Now, you can't play all of them because some you need a faster reaction time, but I was able to play video games with one hand. And Rich, if you're listening, thank you again so much. It made partial of the healing so much easier because I had something to do. And that goes to my first game. I played Stray completely one-handed. It's an easier game to play with one hand. If you're not familiar with an attachment, just look online. We'll post it on our website. It's a great thing if you have a hand injury to use. It was great. I'm so glad he got it for me. Stray, unbelievable game. Loved it. Obviously, it's an independent, production company. So there was some things that I felt like they could have done better, but I hope they do a sequel where they'll add certain things that makes the game play a little better. Another game that I tried to play one-handed, which became incredibly difficult, but I did make it, I think, to World 3, but still, it was really hard because I hated not trying to get all the boxes, was Crash Bandicoot 4. Incredibly hard if you're trying to use an attachment to play one-handed. Definitely not a game to do that.
Yeah, that game's hard enough with two hands.
Yeah, it was very tough. By this time, I was able to use my thumb and use the control a little bit. My surgeon said, surprisingly, hey, video games will be good for rehabilitation for your hand. Just don't overdo it. So I ended up playing a lot of 30-minute intervals going into an hour. And at this point, played a little bit, but was a little too fighting games, a little too much on my hand. Multiverse versus that beta game.
Yeah, I don't think it's in beta anymore, but yeah, the multiverse is the Smash, WB's version of Smash.
Great game. You could play it for free and try to get all the characters for free, but that means you seriously have to grind hours upon hours doing all the special things you do in battle, win each battle to get coins to buy characters. Or you could just suck it up and pay the same amount for a new game, and they give you coins to unlock all the characters, which one day maybe I'll do so if they get enough characters that I feel interested in playing. But fun game. I feel like it's a little bit more intricate than Smash Brothers, the motions and the combos and stuff. I haven't played in a while. Again, that was a doozy on my hands, so I had to step back. But the game that really helped my rehabilitation was my gameplay of God of War. I forgot how awesome this game was. Last time I played this game was when I first got my PS4. I wasn't gaming for about a couple of years, so going into it, I sucked. I was terrible at that game. Could not even beat one fucking Valkyrie. I found all of them and I couldn't do it. But I came back, Josh, and I platinumed my first fucking game. I platinumed that game.
Wow.
And it was like Elden Ring made me such a better gamer. That game made it so that like you can't just charge. Let's see what's happening. How is this character react? How is the boss reacting? And like I almost beat the Valkyrie Queen in my first try, but I did the one thing that you don't do with certain characters like this. I got her down to half of like a little teeny, like she probably only needed like 3 more hits and she would have been dead. And I just went into full panic, kill her as soon as possible mode. And it ruined everything.
And that's how you feel fighting every boss in Elden Ring. You get them down a little bit. You're like, oh, I got into a rhythm. And then they start mixing up. You panic. You start panic rolling as opposed to timed rolling.
Yeah.
Or I think God of War is a little more forgiving when it comes to the combat than Elden Ring. Like, it's not, you missed this dodge, so now you are in chance, you're in a great chance of dying. Like, it's a little, I'll say it's much easier.
Oh, it is. Like, seriously, this gameplay was so much easier than the first time I played. But again, the Valkyries are definitely those bosses. You have to have patience. And you went over this with me too. You can't just be like slash, 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 slash. Like, I'm going to kill them. No, you have to time each. You have to parry when you can parry. You have to dodge when you can dodge. You have to like seriously pay attention. And my patience just wore thin. And I was like, it's late. I just want to beat her and go to bed. And that was just like the end of it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do for those types of bosses in the next game.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be Valkyries again. Maybe it'll be like Frost Giants or something like that. Or
yeah, I'm really wondering because they can't do a lot of the same stuff from the last game. It's got to be completely different.
Well, I mean, they can, because now instead of it being regular, they're going to have that Thimble Winter thing going on in all of the realms.
Oh yeah,
because it's the start of Ragnarok. So it could just be you revisiting the realms that are in just total chaos at this point.
True. But I'm just like the Valkyrie thing was already done, so I'm wondering if they'll bring them back.
Maybe you'll do some large scale battle with the Valkyries.
Maybe. Well, we do know, spoiler alert, if you haven't played the first God of War.
Kratos is the God of War.
Well, was it Freya?
Yeah.
She used to be the queen of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
And she's now coming back as the queen of the well, they hint at the end that she's going to be coming back as a queen of the Valkyrie or a Valkyrie,
or she just wants to kill you and the boy.
Well, to kill you.
Yeah.
So, but that, did we want to go into what we've been watching, or did we want to save that for another time?
Well, I mean, we can. I know we've probably been watching a little bit of the same stuff. I know you watch a lot more new things than I do. But I do think special mention that we all saw, me, you, and Kat collectively. We went to the theaters. Yes, what this is parodying. We went and we saw Top Gun Maverick in the theaters, as it should be seen. And oh Lord, was that movie probably one of the best movies that's come out in the past.
It was awesome. And Kat and I, my fiance, we tried to watch. We watched the first one. I'd never seen the first one. I know, blasphemy. And it was boring. And it was super horny in the gay sense, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, no, it's fine.
It was hot in that way.
They lead that bromance right into the second one.
Yeah, it was fucking great. But there wasn't enough plane action, which I get like back then that, they couldn't really do what they did in this movie. But Josh, how did they fucking up their game in this movie?
It's because Tom Cruise is a fucking psycho. I was going to say psycho Scientologist, and people have been saying like the last great action movie star, and I guess I have to agree. The things he does for practical training and effects for Mission Impossible, this Top Gun movie. This movie, I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff, and they put basically all of the actors who were going to be pilots through like naval training. They strapped them into these F-16s that they would rent every single day from the Navy, like $20,000 every single day to rent like 6 to 10 fighter pilots so they could put these actors in these seats and really fuck with them. I mean, the most realistic part of this movie is like the last 20 minutes, the big third act. It's just a bunch of people being like,
yeah,
like trying to breathe crazy.
And you see
that's what you have
sometimes
to do when you're doing 10 Gs.
Rippling, like, and I was like, oh, that's real. That's really happening.
It just adds to the realism when they're doing these actual maneuvers. And it's a sight to see. Like, my stepdad had no interest watching this movie. And then I showed him the scene where Tom Cruise is proving that the run can be done within 2:30, so he does it in 2:15, like after he'd already been kicked off the mission. So basically, like, John Hamm's character comes and is like, we're going to do it in 4 minutes. And everyone's like, well, then we're all going to die is what you're saying. And then Tom Cruise is just like, hey, I'm just going to show you that this can be done. And then he does that crazy fucking scene and like the whole thing in 2:15 by himself.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And my son was like, okay, I'll rent that movie.
Yeah, that movie was great. My fiance Kat, she saw it twice. Last record that we did, she actually went and saw it by herself, and then was really pumped that Josh and I wanted to see it, so she went and saw it again.
Yeah, great.
It was
movie.
great.
It was, I mean, such a basic fucking plot too. It didn't give you really anything. It's just like there's a little sprinkle of drama, sprinkle of love intrigue over here, but it's mostly the mission. It's the mission, and that's all the movie is. And then there's a little play a fucking Great Balls of Fire on the piano, and then the mission.
It was great. There was a little, like he said, a little bit of drama, but like, it was so good. I'm looking forward to getting it on Blu-ray so I can get like the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That's going to be the only other non-Marvel movie I have purchased in Blu-ray and recently. Yeah, yeah. Can't say enough. It doesn't matter what you think. Like, it's military propaganda. Fuck you and see the movie.
Yeah, see it. Fucking see it. What else have you been seeing, Josh?
What have I been seeing? Well, I see this microphone.
What else have you been watching?
Well, recently, over the last week and a half, I watched all of the Harry Potter movies. I know. I read the books when I was younger, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. And then I remembered that by like the third, fourth, they start killing kids. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Those movies are pretty good. I hated the fourth movie because the fourth book was my favorite, and they
killed Batman.
They left a lot out. Well, yeah, but
Batman gets killed by Voldemort.
I felt like the book was just way better.
Oh, the book! Come on, yeah, the books were way better. Oh, yeah. Way better.
But wish we could say the same about the author.
Yeah, but like she said, Hermione's black. Even though in the books she is not described as black. She's just said that after the fact to be like, see, I'm inclusive. Yeah. Hermione's black.
Yeah, it's like,
come to the Wizarding World, please.
Please still give me your money.
I want money. Yeah, those are okay movies. They're good background movies.
They're good for what they are, you know?
I mean, a bit, they're kids' movies. But whatever. We watch many kids' movies for this fucking podcast. So, other than that, I'm keeping up on these Marvel TV shows. Miss Marvel, it was okay.
I liked it. I didn't finish it. I'm going to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, you liked it so much you didn't finish it.
I got into a car accident and then kind of just
and then you couldn't watch TV, right?
Yeah, well, I just, fuck me, whatever.
No, I just, it was fine. I do like the characters in that series. I thought that, especially like the family, I thought they were fantastic.
I think Marvel fans just need to fucking chill.
I think it was a little too disconnected from everything other than like, I love Captain Marvel. It connected to nothing. And I think those shows kind of need that a little bit, even if it's not a character being in it, which I think She-Hulk, the newest series, had that help it in the first episode and second episode. But I also find some of the humor super cringy, especially in the... Did you watch the post-credit scene of the third episode?
I try not to watch the... Oh, wait, yeah. The booty pop. Yeah.
See, I shook my head. I was like, I don't think anyone needed to see She-Hulk with Megan Thee Stallion twerking in her office. All that opens it up is for those people online to just have more articles about, like, fucking woke Marvel.
Yeah, I think at this
How woke
point
is
though
Marvel?
that's what they
woke.
were doing. I think they thought like, oh, this is gonna be so stupid.
I don't care about like that.
But that's the thing.
Some
I think
of it's just too cringy.
I think that's what makes me like it. That they're just kind of winking at the audience, being like, "We know you're gonna be pissed off by this,"
and that's fine. That's completely fine.
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they do, I find very funny. I laughed very hard at the first post-credit scene where she's super excited that she found out that Captain America's not a virgin. I thought that was the funniest thing.
Yeah, it was. It like I like that it's like it does a lot of meta stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take itself too serious, which makes it more enjoyable. And I think I've just decided I need to go into these shows not being like, it's not going to say anything about what's going to happen next. Like, and just enjoy these shows and enjoy that it's original, because everything that we've done, like, yeah, it's based off a comic book, which they're, I think, doing what it's supposed to, but like everything's being remade. And it's just getting so fucking aggravating that, like, if I can get something different, no matter how dumb it is, like, I'll enjoy it because...
Yeah, I think also the series is good because it's helping to connect a lot of the dots, if you know what I mean. Like, we already know Daredevil's going to make a cameo, which means maybe she represents Fisk in one of the episodes. You know what I mean? Then we have ties to Asgard stuff in the last episode, with the people that has Asgardian weapons and the light elf, you know. And then we have that Easter egg where they basically called out fucking Wolverine. Then there's also an Easter egg where they finally address the thing that happened at the end of the Eternals. Like, the end of the Eternals, spoilers, there's a fucking part of a celestial head and hand, and we've all seen how giant celestials are, sticking out of the Indian Ocean. How is no one mentioned that? That clearly caused like a tsunami in like some coastal region. A giant being coming out of the earth didn't fuck something up.
Yeah.
And no one's going to talk about it, but they finally actually pointed out with like another article that said like, what's that island that appeared in the ocean? It's like, that's a head.
Yeah, I like that they're using this to address certain questions.
Yeah.
And I love how they even do a little nod about Edward Norton used to be the Hulk. It was like quick.
Super meta.
And look,
he's
right
like,
down
I'm
to the
a
barrel.
Completely different person, literally. And then she looks at the camera and goes,
wink.
Ah.
It's great. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I just and I was talking about this with Charlie earlier. It is kind of a stupid reason that she got her powers from that. It was very circumstantial, where literally they could have just done the comic book version. In the comic book, she gets shot at by the mafia because she defended and put away like one of the mafia people. They could do that. They have mafia type characters.
Do it quick.
No, I know why they did, and I think it makes more sense because what they wanted to show you is, hey, see this Sakaar spaceship, the thing from Thor Ragnarok, and then he leaves on that ship. That's all trying to set up like World War Hulk stuff. Like he's gonna go back to Sakaar and see that for the 2 years he had like a kid and a family.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. So
you're very welcome.
Blowing my brain over here.
Damn,
my brain. Oh my god.
Blowing my brain, my friend. Well, but other than those Marvels things, I did just recently get Peacock, so that I can Pisscock, excuse me, so I could start watching the Office Superfan episodes.
Oh, those are great.
I watched the first one. I was like, this is a 43-minute episode. These are usually 21. They have so much more stuff in them. And like some of the stuff that they cut out actually adds context to other things that are in there randomly. So I'm wondering, I know they cut it for time, but certain jokes land more because you get the context that led to that joke.
Yeah. I was watching those for a while, but they took a while to release a lot of them. I know at first they released season 2 and 3 and then released season 1. And then I haven't watched since they released season 4. I don't know what season they're on right now for the special cut ones.
Yeah, and
how many do they have right now?
5 seasons.
5?
Yeah. Other than that, I got caught up to season 5 of Better Call Saul on Netflix.
I gotta get caught up on that.
Yeah, that show's over, so it's done. I heard it ended very, very well, as well as both of the other Breaking Bad and El Camino did. Other than that, what else? I think there's one other thing I was MasterChef season 12 back to win. I like trash TV, just like the rest of us.
You've been sticking with that show though for a long time. Dude, you're a long time watcher.
MasterChef, Hell's Kitchen. I watch those. That's what I watch. I don't know why. I like good-looking food. I like food porn, and then I also like him abusing people. And for some reason, that's like the trash TV I'd watched since I was like 22.
You bloody cow!
I remember when Hell's Kitchen premiered. I was still living with like my parents, and I was like, "All right, I'll watch the show." And I was like, he is just abusing these people. And it's like, no, yeah, I know it's super
and you're like,
overproduced.
I love it.
I know it's super. Because you can like tell, like, and that's fine. That's why it's trash TV. Like, everyone's like, woo, welcome the guest judge. And then you hear like, ah! like they just overlay more applause. And it's like, there's 6 people there. There's not that many. They can't make that much noise.
No. It's to get the audience pumped.
Yeah. There's no audience.
No. I mean, like, people watching at home.
Yeah, filmed in front of a live studio audience.
So what I've been watching a little bit of this and that. Of course, I finished Stranger Things season 4.
Oh my God.
Which was fucking awesome because I thought season 3 was absolute garbage.
They kill everybody?
No, of course.
Some
They
people?
play fan favorites. So they kill somebody, but I'm not going to say it because I think everyone should see it. I will say this, and I'm not going to say who. If you're a fan of 80s movies like I am, and you love The Lost Boys, at one point, they have 2 characters dressed as the Frog Brothers from The Lost Boys, and I thought that was great. I watched this terrible movie that I wanted to bring up called Love on a Leash for my favorite podcast, How'd This Get Made? I'm not going to go fully into it, but it's about a dog who at night turns into a man, marries a girl, and the movie is awesomely horrible. You can't find unless you get the DVD. Each version of the movie for streaming has absolutely no score. So it's just blank sound and random cuts in of like definitely re-recorded voices. And it is ridiculously bad and everybody should watch it. It's so good, but bad.
I don't think I need to see that movie.
Yeah, it's in listen to How This Get Made, great podcast. I rewatched with Kat all 3 Austin Powers movies. Still Goldmember is not one of my favorites. I think the second movie's always the best.
I love gold.
Kat disagrees with me. I'm surprised I don't hear anything. She's walking out of the room. She's not
packing a suitcase. She's taking the cats and she's leaving.
She gave Josh my engagement ring.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That is her favorite one, but I think it's just a little too much. I tried to get into the new Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I tried to read the comics. They were a little tough for me. The show was a little tough, mainly because at the beginning they he takes the soul and kills a little friendly gargoyle thing that reminded me of my Pitbull Aria. So when it was like, kill me, like I got really sad and I couldn't watch it. I'm in a depressed state right now. I've been very fragile lately. Okay. Which is why I probably shouldn't have been watching this next thing that I just actually finished, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, that's a very happy series if I remember correctly.
Dude, I went from I was like, you know what? I remember watching this when I was younger. I didn't understand it. Maybe I'll understand it now. Nope. Watched it in all the movies and fuck that show. Fuck that. I know a lot of people love it, and if you love it, great. I was in love with it up until episode 16. Everything changes, becomes like a psychological mental breakdown, and they show 14-year-old titties, and it would just creep me out.
It's animated though, so it's okay.
It was no longer what?
It's animated though, so it's okay.
It's okay. They might be 1,000 years old, so it's all right.
14, 1,000.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know. Yeah. I was really Kat and I got really into that show Blown Away, Netflix, the glass blowing competition show.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. like metal making, like
yes,
yeah, like I can't remember the name. My roommates watches it sometimes. I'll watch it. That's a pretty good.
Where it's like
too.
a blacksmith show.
Yeah, it's a competition show.
I tried watching that, but it wasn't the type of people that I thought would be making weapons.
I mean, who
do
you think a blacksmith is these days? Like,
yeah, it'd just be like
that's what a blacksmith.
People
looks
wearing
like.
MAGA hats and being like, "I'm gonna make this knife."
Yeah,
fuck you, Obama. Like
the blade says "fuck Obama," and the hilt made from hickory says MAGA 2024.
Yeah. It's like, these are the people that would be making weapons today. So, yeah.
Well, it's either those guys are like super hipster plaid shirt wearing guys with like really terrible hipster beards. You're like, yeah, I bend metal. I like to make swords, and I sell them at Renaissance fairs.
What Renaissance?
yeah, you say Renaissance like an asshole.
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
That lost me for a minute. Another thing that I've been watching, actually, this is what I watched mainly towards my main recovery after my wrist surgery because I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia for about a good few weeks. Yeah, it sucked. A lot of indica weed and edibles. It helped a lot, but a lot of Adventure Time. And I used to be a fan of it when it first came out, but like with new shows, streaming has ruined me. So I'm like, I can't binge it. I'm just going to wait till it's done and then I'm going to binge it. And then the season would end and I'd forget about it. And then the show would end and I'll be like, well, I guess I'll just watch all of it now. And I watched all of my dog is making noises while she sleeps. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I forgot how awesome that show is and how dark it gets and how adult that Adventure Time is.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah, it's awesome. I fucking love that show. So that was a great watch, and still have not watched The Boys, Josh, but it will be happening.
You're a failure. It's not even that much. It's like 8 episodes.
I know. I got to get to it. It just, I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll get to it soon. It'll happen. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. Did I miss anything else? And of course, Top Gun we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch Wayne's World the other day. I forgot how great that movie is.
Yeah, it's another movie, very meta.
Yeah, very meta. Loved it.
Breaks the fourth wall as well. Say he's the original Deadpool, Mike Myers.
He is the original Deadpool. He should be Deadpool in the next.
Well, he's also Canadian, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I saw recently as well, or at least a large portion of it is, did you know South Park had a 25th anniversary live concert where they basically, it was the creators with a background band that had Primus and Rush, the remaining members of Rush. I heard
about this.
And they just played every single song that they've done for South Park with all the voices and all the characters and everything, and it was great. I kind of wish Isaac Hayes was alive and, still on speaking terms with them so they could have done all the songs he did.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd still be on speaking terms with them by then.
That's why I said he'd also on speaking terms with them, yeah.
They totally mutilated his character.
Well, they did after he left. Literally mutilated him. They pushed, after he quit, they had that episode where it was just, they used old sound bits and basically made him look like he was joining Scientology, because that's what he did. But it was a pedophile club, and then they kill him at the end by pushing him off a bridge, and he gets gored on a rock, and then a mountain lion eats him, and then a bear eats him.
That episode was great, and they just use
they just use clips. Hello, children. I love to have sex with children.
Look out, children!
Look out, children!
Goodbye. Oh, that was great.
R.I.P. Isaac Hayes.
Sick Day Games. So Josh, I know you kind of briefly mentioned it at the beginning, but usually when you're sick, are you the type that, we're going to go into both, but are you the type that usually is like, I'm going to be out for a couple days, maybe I should go into my backlog and pick up something I keep saying I'm going to play? Or if you're going to play video games, just go to what you're used to, where you don't really have to think and you just hop right in.
Okay, so my question is, am I actually sick? Or am I quote unquote sick and I just don't want to work that day?
I want to say sick.
Okay. If I'm actually sick, usually I'll just fuck around, watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Binding of Isaac is a very committal game. So I have found that usually that's the game I'll go to because I can put 30 minutes into it, 40 minutes into it. I don't have to spend hours. You just play once, twice, put it down, come back to it. But if I am taking a sick day randomly, it's usually because I have some game that I've been playing that I just want to keep playing and I don't want to go to work. And that's usually when big releases come out. Like I'm pretty sure I did that when God of War 2018 came out. I know that I did that even though I took one day off when Final Fantasy VII Remake dropped. I definitely called out sick the next day to keep playing it. But so it's usually big, super hyped games. I think like Resident Evil 8 might have been one where I took a day off work and just like played the shit out of that. But if I'm actually sick, then I would say probably Binding of Isaac. That's been my go-to for 8 to 9 years at this point.
So that's because, familiarity and you know.
Yeah, it's just you don't have to invest that much time. You can play it a little bit or play it a good amount. And it's not like you're worried about the story. You know what I mean? Because the story means literally nothing in that game.
Yeah. Not at all. It's like they barely tell you. It's just like shoehorned in here and there. So for me, usually like if I'm sick, if it's like a 1 day thing, which is usually what it is, I'll go to like I have a couple like list, not a couple lists, but a list of a couple games that I would be like, all right, I don't need to really think about these games. I can just play them and ghost through them a little bit. And those games for me are typically Punch Out, Super Punch Out, Secret of Mana, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and Mega Man X. Those are all games where I know where all the things are, all the secrets are. Like,
yeah,
there's really no thought process to it. And like Secret of Mana, especially, usually like I have a saved game in it, and I'm like, oh, I haven't played this in a while. Maybe I'll just hop in and level up my weapons and stuff like that. Those are ones that I usually go to if I'm sick one day. Like just even a couple times here, I've been like, I really don't want to play a game that needs fucking thought, and just I'll run through it.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, probably like Hearthstone, just on my phone, play some matches.
Now, I put this on the thing too. Now, is there any games when you were out for like a long series of time, if anything ever happened to you that you haven't played, but like you like, maybe I should finally pick this up, and you picked it up and you just like played it that entire time you were sick? Did you ever have?
I remember specifically like because I had gotten the Bioshock package of games. Like I think all of them it came with, and I just had that. I had it randomly. I think I had a PlayStation like gift card. I just got that because it was on sale. And being out of work for a couple days, I remember jumping into the first one for the first time and just playing the entire thing because it was so different. I mean, it's an FPS, but it's more like a cyberpunk, almost Skyrim type thing because you get like weapons plus magic type powers. And
it's such a good game, and I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to mention it earlier. We're getting a live action adaptation of Bioshock from Netflix.
I heard that.
I believe it's going to be a movie, which you're already fucked up, and it's going to be directed from Francis Lawrence, which is from the Hunger Games. He did all the Hunger Games movies.
Speaking of video game adaptations that are releasing, we finally got 20 seconds of The Last of Us that's premiering on HBO. We got a pretty bad reading of one of Ellie's iconic lines by Bella Ramsey. Makes me concerned. And then we got a showstopper reading by Pedro Pascal as Joel. And I'm like, okay, that's Joel. You're good.
It was good. The shots look great. It looks like it's good.
I did not like her read on that line.
No,
and that's the line that Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker were forced to audition on because it's one of the biggest moments in the whole game.
I think she might be a little too young.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I kind of would have liked to see, remember that girl from Logan?
Oh, yeah.
She's aged up a little bit now.
She had a series recently on HBO. I think it was, I forgot what it was. Something in His Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, just called His Dark Materials. I heard that show got a lot of good reviews. I heard she was really good in it. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they went with her, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it looks good. Pedro Pascal, you're going to get something good out of him.
Yeah, I agree.
He's always good, but
and we get fucking not Ron Burgundy.
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman. Yeah, what was he plays?
Ron Burgundy.
Not Ron Burgundy. Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson, yes, in Parks and Rec.
Okay, I will mention movies I've seen recently. I watched Anchorman recently.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
like a week and a half ago.
But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to bring that up, and then we went to
he's playing Bill. Nick Offerman's playing Bill, which I think is a very good casting for Bill.
Oh yeah, it's going to be really good. We'll see how it goes. Again, I'm a little iffy because it's not something that needed a live action adaptation, but that is definitely something we can look forward to. But Bioshock, I'm very interested how they're going to make that work. But did you, when you were sick and you got into that, did you play both games or just the first one?
I mean, it took me several days to beat the first one. I did start the second one, but I didn't get that far before I was distracted.
Did you go in as evil? Did you do the evil run?
No, I did the good run where you don't kill you free them.
Yeah, you get the secret ending.
Then you're not as powerful.
Yeah, it's a little tougher to get through. I've done both runs on that, and man, when you just don't care, like you're brutal, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's one of those fun decisions you get to make in games.
Yeah, that's a great game. And one series I would say that I played when so one time they thought I had whooping cough when I was in high school, and I had like a whole month off of school, and because I guess whooping cough was rampant and they didn't want to take a chance, so they like gave me a whole month off. And I
wonder you're so stupid.
Fuck you. So I took out my brother, dusted off my brother's old Sega Genesis, and I think I borrowed some of these games from other people, but I got my hands on Sonic 1 through 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and I beat all of them and got the Chaos Emeralds in every single fucking game.
Wow.
It was tough. It was really tough, but I played those all the way through, and now every time I play them, I just remember that where it was just like that time where all I did was play Sonic to the point where, you know, I would reset it so I can go back and try to get the Chaos Emeralds in those bonus levels if I lost. And I just remember I would close my eyes and just see the Sonic 3 like bonus stage is like did. I can't do the music, but the little balls you have to get.
Yeah.
That's the noise they made.
Oh, is that the noise they made?
Yeah, that's the noise they made.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure your parents were proud of you.
They still aren't till this day.
Yeah. Well, whose are?
True. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I didn't have that system, so that's not one that I could stay home and play. I do remember like sneaking home, well, like either going to school and then just leaving and walking home, or hiding at my parents' house in the basement until both my parents left. And I specifically remember it was for like Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Mostly 8, actually, too. Because Charlie was living at my parents' house with me for a little bit for personal reasons. And, family reasons. And
which is usually personal.
Yeah. Personal family reasons. Fuck you. And we would just stay home and play Final Fantasy 8 all day. Until we realized it's not that great of a game. But hey, it was when it first came out, I was like, this is fucking crazy.
That was actually Final Fantasy VIII was when I finished Sonic, I was still out. So I picked Final Fantasy VIII and I got I found a guide at I think a Blockbuster. I used the walkthrough and yeah, that game's the story's not that great.
No, it's very confusing and
I remember when
it makes very little sense once you get past disc 1.
Yeah, when you're just like, oh, wait a minute.
Although, anyone listening, if you are going to play Final Fantasy VIII again randomly just for nostalgic reasons, go look up the Squall is Dead theory.
This is fucked.
Then it makes the game so much better. If you just think of it as the end of Disc 1, Squall and company, they go after that sorceress, and she just shoots a glacier through his stomach, and then it fades to black, and it's Disc 2. He's dead. Because everything changes after that point. The girl that you're interested in, Renoa, she's dating the other guy, the your nemesis dude. All that randomly changes. All of, things start going better for you, and you become a hero and all this stuff. Then there's random stuff like, oh, we all forgot that we grew up in the same orphanage together. Huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck? They find aliens in like the school fucking that they all go to, like the school building that is a flying machine too. It's like, what the fuck is going on with this story?
Yeah, it makes no sense. So like this Squall story thing that you're saying is kind of like a Jacob's Ladder scenario, which that movie is. A bunch of fucked up stuff in that movie happens, but then you find out that it's all just a fever dream of this guy that's slowly dying.
Yep.
And that's kind of what Josh is putting down. That
yeah, they're basically saying that everything that happens after Disc 1 is his fever dream before he's dead.
Yeah.
Because everything goes well, and you're the hero, and you get the girl, and all yada, 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 all the classic cheesy tropes. So.
But nothing makes sense. Like the bully guy all of a sudden starts going insane, and
yeah, exactly. And then the universe and time and space is being ripped apart by your character Renoa, who's actually an ancient sorceress from the future. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Can't it just be crystals again? What the fuck, Final Fantasy? Just where's the crystals at?
Yeah, just. That's why I'm looking for the new one. It looks like they're going back to their roots and being like, let's make everything medieval like again, and let's just focus on that.
Yeah, that's a cool concept where they're having the summons being the eidolons of nations that they use in war.
Which
that's
is
cool.
Like when I was younger, I came up with a comic book idea that kind of had that because I was really getting into Final Fantasy, and I'm actually kind of shocked it took them that long to kind of.
Well, they only found your drawings recently.
They found my notebook that I lost. I did lose it.
Masahiro Yoshida from fucking Capcom or Square Enix was like, oh.
Was walking around the Shashin Tech.
Yeah, I found this from 15, 17 years ago. This is very good for a whole franchise.
The spelling is terrible.
And don't worry, folks. I'm not squinting my eyes while I do that accent.
Yeah, it was a Jamaican accent you were doing. So.
Yes, man.
You were just doing a Master Splinter impression. And those movies still show, and they don't change it.
I'm Master Splinter. Take out the accent.
I am Asian descent.
I am from Japan. Can you tell by my accent?
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, no, you would say it way more American. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Now, Josh, you already kind of mentioned it, but I'm going to ask you again anyway. Now, you said there were a couple games that made you be like, man, I think I'm going to be sick today. I'm not going to go to school or work. Now, I'll say a couple of mine first, and then I just want to hear more of what you probably have. I just wrote a list down, so I don't need to go deep into detail, but these games were definitely, gangbusters that made me be as a kid. Most of them when I was a kid. There's a couple from later that I just was like, I gotta stay home. Final Fantasy VII was one of those first turn-based games I ever really got into. So I was constantly being like, Ma, I just don't feel really good.
Yeah, it was also one of those games where you realize, these characters have depth, and you start to actually like them, and you enjoy the story so much that you want to continue seeing it. It's not like Mario where it's like, run right, keep running right, run right and jump. Cool, you saved a princess. No, there's actual stories and consequences, and characters die, and you're shocked by it. You're like, well, I'll just bring them back. No. And
it blew my mind even more. Friend of the pod, Eddie Chambers, when we were younger, co-host of Fandom at Random, great podcast, guys. Everybody listen to them. They yeah, they're great. They just did a bunch of rewatch. They covered the Comic-Con. I'm going to cut this all out because I'm babbling.
Mm-hmm.
But Ed Chambers from Fandom at Random, great podcast. When we were younger, came over to my house with a Final Fantasy VII walkthrough and was like, "Oh, there's a bunch of secret shit you can get, right? Characters, everything." And then I just spent most of my time trying to find those characters, and I was like, I gotta stay home.
Oh, so he was one of those smug fuck entitled kids that's like, oh, you didn't get the the Prima strategy guide with it, you dickhead. So you don't know how to get Vincent and Yuffie, huh?
You don't even know who they are.
You don't even know who they are? Wow, you're dumb.
Loser. Another one of those games for me that sucked me right in and I had to stay home was Soul Reaver, baby.
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Such a good game. Too bad the company went under because I don't think we'd be seeing a remake anytime soon, but that is one of those games I would love to see be remade. More recent games where I called out of work. God of War 3. Once I got up my hands off that, I called out of work a lot. Breath of the Wild. That gave me the stomach bug. Couldn't come in. And the most recent one was Doom Eternal, which I think was a couple years ago. I called out I think one day, but it was just such a fun game. Panicky game, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean 7 and 8, like I said. Earlier than that, probably Link to the Past plus Lufia, Rise of the Sinistrals. Another RPG that I didn't understand when I first played it because what the fuck is an RPG?
Yeah.
You have to level up your character to actually make it and progress in the game. I get it.
Or equip. When I first played Final Fantasy VII, I didn't realize all these items I was getting from beating
you had to equip them.
You can equip them. I was like, oh shit, why am I just dying constantly? But I'm leveling up, and it's I think it was probably Ed was like, why aren't you equipping your weapons and armor? And I'm like, oh,
shut up. More recently, I definitely took a day off to play Elden Ring. I know that. One day.
Almost did a couple times on that, but work was really hectic, so it was like...
Yeah, I just sucked it up and realized that the work will be there the next day. I'm going to have to do it anyway, so it'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, but other than that, like I said, just new releases if I'm hyped about them. FF7 Remake was one.
Well, I know you're going to be
Village. I have 3 days off for Ragnarok, but I already took them off.
Yeah. I'm bummed. I don't have any more vacation or sick time, so I'm still gonna get it, but I'm gonna have to play it like a normal person and after work.
You're gonna have to wait till you're not working to play a video game.
Yep. Weekends will be taken over.
Yep. Me and Charlie are I'm gonna bring my PlayStation 5 over. We're gonna set up both 60-inch TVs and just both play. See what happens.
It's gonna be so good, especially after replaying the other one. But
I can't wait. That's my most hyped game this year.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But I think that wraps up mainly our discussion of our sick games. I think we went through that list pretty quickly. Yeah, it was a little short, but that's why we discussed all the other stuff at the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I know we went over briefly, Josh, and I obviously made the decision. You were cool with it, but we did discuss it at the beginning of the episode. But do you remember what our next episode is going to be based off of?
We are going to be starting our 8-bit spooky review month.
I fucking love it. Oh my God. I'm putting that in my notes right now. Why haven't we not used this before?
I mean, I've already said several other things that are just 8-bit and then whatever the theme is and then review.
And I'm like a child. I'm like,
oh my God, that's so new and original. 8-bit spooky review.
Well, I think we should do 8-bit China review.
Oh boy. I don't know, man. China's, they're not doing too well.
We should review it.
Let's review China. Yeah, that'll be it won't be video game news. It'll just be news.
So Josh, what are we going to be doing for our 8-bit spooky review for our first episode? I did mention at the beginning, but let's rephrase it.
I don't remember.
Oh, we'll be discussing.
The first one was the spooky tune review.
spooky tune review.
That's why I said 8-bit music review.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Something
Yeah.
stupid.
So we'll be talking about what
Spooky music.
Our favorite spooky music. Doesn't have to technically be like Halloween themed, but you play Dead Space, what music comes from that, or you go into a creepy dungeon, haunted dungeon, spooky tunes. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of Castlevania requests,
Yep. And we will definitely be playing This Is Halloween from Kingdom Hearts. That's what it sounds like, ladies and gentlemen.
It's sung by Adam Sandler.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
He says, you missed this. But of course, part of our 8-bit spooky review, yeah, I'm coining it now, we'll be discussing a variety of different things, that are usually horror based. And to find out what those are, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And I guess I should close out. I should just go right into closing out the episode, I guess. But to find out, more things about what we'll be covering and any updates we may be having, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We also will be on Twitter, which you can find us at... Wait, no, that's the wrong link. But you can find us on Twitter. Just make sure you look us up. We will also now be on Letterboxd at 8-Bit Movie Review, which is a reviewing site. So any movies that we will be reviewing, we'll be now putting our own personal reviews on there. So make sure you find us and follow us on that.
Wow, this song makes me really want to do my part to this beat. Yeah, come on. If you want to listen to our backlog of episodes or movie reviews.
Yeah.
I can't focus because the musician in me is just 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't. Yeah. So yeah, go to our website at 8bit.
I'm keeping this all in.
No. You want to listen to our backlog of movie reviews, video game discussions, music reviews, and all that good shit, you can go to our website, which is www.anchor.fm/8bitpod. That also leads you to our Spotify.
And we should have said this a little earlier. Josh and I are going to be doing a little bit more Twitch streams. We've been doing a little bit here and there of Resident Evil 4, and we've discussed it. We will be most likely playing some Last of Us Remastered. I got a couple ideas on that, but we did discuss that. I thought we did.
We did, but I did not wait. I've already been playing the shit out of Last of Us Remastered, which is fantastic. And if you like The Last of Us, I highly recommend it. Even though it's $70, there is a lot of improvements and changes that make it feel incredibly fresh.
I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm Andrew Gonzalez.
And I am Joel from Last of Us, played by Pedro Pascal.
And join us next week